Oh, hi there. I didn't hear you come in. I'm Brendan, and welcome to Book Talks. And here on Book Talks with Brendan, we talk about books. I'm Brendan, and I'm here to tell you about this book, The War That Saved My Life, by Kimberly Brubaker Bradley. The War That Saved My Life is already a winner of the Newbery Honor, but it's also nominated for a Connecticut Nutmeg Award. They say you can't judge a book by its cover, but the title is something that really got my attention. The War That Saved My Life. And so immediately I had that question of how is it that a war could save somebody's life? Normally when we think of war, all we hear about is the violence and the destruction of it. And that's just the first way that this book goes against your expectations, and it is full of surprises all along the way. The story begins in 1939 in London, England. Now if you know your history, World War II was just beginning. And there's a lot of fear in England of that time of the German military and their blitzkrieg or sneak attack. So what they did was they relocated all of the children out of the city to temporary homes in the countryside because there was more likely to be an attack on London. So this story is about Ada and her little brother Jamie, and there are two kids who are relocated to the countryside during this time. They go to live with a woman named Susan Smith. Now, she's a young lady who has no kids, hasn't been married, and she's not used to having them. So for both the kids and for Susan, it's a period of adjustment, and that's really the central conflict of this story. Alright, let's get to know our characters a little bit better. Our narrator and protagonist is Ada. She's an unlikely hero because she's a 10-year-old girl who was born with a birth defect known as clubfoot. And because of that, her mom has kept her locked in her apartment for her entire life. But she's a great character because she has a quirky sense of humor, and when the opportunity arises, she's willing to step out of her comfort zone, teach herself a lot of new things, and then finally face the challenges of a strange, unknown world with courage. Now next is Jamie. Jamie is Ada's little brother. He's only 6 years old, so he's kind of a baby still. And if you have a younger brother or younger sister, you could definitely relate to Ada as she's dealing with Jamie. You know, our other main character is Susan, or Miss Smith. And she is not ready to take on kids. They just kind of get dropped off at her doorstep when nobody else will take them. And something that I really liked about Susan's character is that she's not a perfect caregiver. She's not a perfect role model. She makes mistakes, and just like the kids, but also they learn together, they grow together, and they kind of figure out their situation together. What it is I really love about this book and why I recommend it. The first reason is just, it's really funny. I can't tell you how many times while I was reading, I just burst out laughing. You know, at its core, it's a very heartwarming story, and we get to see Ada grow and learn and become so much more than she was able to be back in London. And at the same time, we see Miss Smith start to come out of her shell, reconnect with society, and there's tension between them, and there's these moments where you don't think that it's going to work out, that it's going to last, and then there's this moments when they're just really special times that they have together, and they connect on a deeper level, and it's really a beautiful story. And the last thing that I love about this story is that it's easy to read and get. Right from the beginning, it starts off into the action, and it's interesting, and the humor keeps you turning the page and making you want to know what's going to happen next. So, I love this book, and I think just about anybody would love this book. First would be anybody who's interested in that time period of World War II and wants to find a different perspective on what was happening in the world. You moved to a different town or a different state or a different country altogether, and you had, you know, a tough time fitting in with your new environment. I also recommend this story if you don't have a perfect family. If you enjoy a nice, heartwarming, funny tale with lots of action, lots of unexpected things that happened, this is the book for you. But don't just take my word for it. What did you think of the book, Elliot?
Elliot, you like this book? Give paw if you like this book. Oh, yeah, you want to read?
So thank you for joining me, Brendan, on Book Talks with Brendan and Elliot. We'll see you next time.